Hailing frequencies.
Open.
This is Captain Jean-Luc Picard of the USS Enterprise.
No response.
Security, report to main engineering. We have an intruder.
This is Hector Canales bringing you a double retro unboxing review of the 1992 Series 1 Borg and the 1993 Series 2 The Borg. I've been having a great time collecting and unboxing these Star Trek Playmates action figures from the 90s, but every great toy line needs an equally great villain. And that's what I have here in the Borg. I didn't know which one to unbox, so why not unbox both of them and check out the small little differences in between both of them. Let's start off with Series 1 packaging. The colors, the text, the art are so attention grabbing, how can you miss it? Then coming down, you've got a nice clear view of the action figure and his accessories. And then on the other side, you've got a listing and names for those accessories. The back of the box is as great as the front with that iconic quote at the very top. Then you've got all the figures in this series you can collect. Then you've got not just the names of the accessories that he comes with, but an explanation and definition for each and every one of them. Then at the bottom, you've got a G.I. Joe file card so you know exactly what this Borg is all about. Before I move on to the Series 2 Borg packaging, I do want to point out that they re-released most of the figures from Series 1 in Series 2. They were either repaints or completely new molds, and with Picard, LaForge, and Worf, they got an extra release with different attire, or even a different personality. The packaging for Series 2 is mostly the same as Series 1, with minor changes here and there, namely the exclusive Skybox trading cards on the card and also on the bubble, and that trading card obscuring the view of the accessories inside the packaging. The back of the card has more changes from Series 1, omitting the classic phrase at the very top, adding on more little bubbles for the new characters in this series. It also has a nice description of all his accessories, and at the bottom, that G.I. Joe file card. Reading over both file cards, I say that Series 1 is a bit basic, while Series 2 has a little more info. But in saying that, the Series 1 just gives it more of a scare factor. They also use the same profile picture, which makes a lot of sense because they use the same head sculpt.
I'm gonna unbox Series 1 first. Take a look at all his accessories, then do the same with Series 2. Afterwards, compare them both and really take a deep look at the differences. Boy, that plastic is really on there good. Even after 30 years. Let's smell them. Oh, that smells really, really good. The back of the box is not very clear on which one's the bionic plasmic laser arm and which one's the cutting ray arm. It looks just like the one on the show. This one looks similar, but it has some articulation to it. But it is pretty clear on that this one's the mechanical manipulation arm. As you can see, the detail on them is pretty great. He does come with 2 loose shield generator coils, but it's not very clear as to where it goes, since he's got like 4 holes to insert these coils. I'm guessing this bigger 2B1 goes on top, since most of the bigger 2B1 go on his upper body. Attaching these little tubings to those tiny holes that were kind of far apart from each other, considering this one's pretty short, was a bit difficult. I mean, the finished product, it looks pretty Borgish. Let's take a look at how the other arm attachments look on them. And taking these arm attachments are pretty difficult. This is the first one. I can't get the first one off. I'm afraid I'm gonna, come on, really pulling on this guy. I'm gonna have to bring in tools. Thought this was a silver plastic, but It's a black plastic painted silver. Taking that arm off was difficult. Putting another one on is as equally difficult. Let's now unbox Series 2. Let's smell them. Smells very similar to the Series 1. Not as strong of a new toy smell, but still very, very good. He only comes with one extra attachment. I was going to take the trading card out of the little plastic, but it's just a trading card. There's nothing else. I'm just going to keep it and preserve it in the plastic. An updated look to his stand. That looks really nice. Oh, that's really nice. Checklist to all the figures that by this time have been released. This is really nice. And I actually unboxed and reviewed this one, if you want to check it out on my YouTube channel. And here are his coils, and just like Series 1, I'm going to put the ribbed coil on the upper body and the smooth coil down below. And maybe because I already had experience on putting those coils on, this was slightly easier. Now to try and put on the attachment. This one, it's got coils connected to it, but those same coils don't connect to this one. And it's gonna be a little trickier since this is vacuum metallized plastic and I really don't want to chip it. And I just noticed that this arm has articulation to it. That's pretty cool. Makes me not want to even take it off and put this one, because this one pretty basic. Maybe I should just put it on the Series 1. So this one's called the multifunctional rotation arm, while this one is called the hydraulic mechanical ram arm. And they're both powerful arms capable of penetrating all known alloys. Before we start comparing them, let's take a look at his articulation. It's the same articulation as Series 2, so we're just going to use Series 1. Head, arm, no G.I. Joe swivel arm here on this one. Elbow, and then of course the attachment rotates. The other arm, shoulder, G.I. Joe swivel arm, elbow, but no articulation at the wrist. Waist, hip, knee, hip, knee. Now, oh, there goes some of this tubing. Because of the way their legs are molded, they stand in this awkward position. Seems like a zombie walk, which is very understandable, but it does make it a little bit difficult for them to stand at times. You have to kind of bend their knees a bit. Well, that looks pretty cool. The stands are the same thing, except that the colors are inverted, and the Series 2 one comes with the Borg sticker name on it. Now the side-to-side comparison. Again, it's the same mold, so they look the same, but the small little differences in the color of the plastic, the color of some of the paints that they use, especially with the red coloring on the eye, is great. That makes it just a little bit different, even though it's the same mold, same face. It looks just different enough that you could have a whole army of these guys and then switch the attachments on the arms just to make them a little bit different, and maybe even change up the tubings, switch them around, and you'll have a great little army of Borg. On Series 1, this little hole, a little tubing attachment, made no sense. But on Series 2, it made a lot of sense because this tubing here attaches to that arm. I wonder if they planned ahead to have this arm for Series 2 attach to Series 1. Let's try it out. My fingers really hurt from putting on those attachments, but here he is. And they look great together.
One thing that I'm noticing is it's a lot easier to put the Series 1 attachments onto Series 2. See, that snapped in pretty nice, but it's a bit loose. That fits very nice on there. Maybe they heard the fans and widened the hole just a bit to make it a lot easier, because it does take away some of the fun out of Series 1 figure. The lighting kind of washes the face out, but I really want to take a good look at the face for a child's toy. It's a bit creepy. On my final analysis, these toys are great, with just a few little bumps here and there, namely the arm attachments for Series 1. But the rest of it, all the features, all the little extras, all the info on the cards are amazing. I'm having a lot of fun collecting and unboxing these Star Trek action figures. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. Let me know which ones you have. Let me know if you're having as much fun or had as much fun as I'm having.
What is this on my bridge? Bones, any idea?
I don't know. I'm a doctor, not a Skynet employee. That's this guy. He's more machine than man.
Spock, any suggestions?
Logically, Captain, I suggest we throw a red shirt at him. See what happens.
Hey, screw you, Mr. Spock!